Hey guys, Chris here, back with another tea talk, and today we are drinking a tea that I don't think I've covered on here before, Gyokuro. So Gyokuro is the highest grade of Japanese green tea, and it only accounts for about 1% of the total tea production in Japan. And Gyokuro, the name Gyokuro means jaded dew, and it's the way it's produced, it's pretty special. So it's shaded under these either straw, reed, or sort of vinyl mats. So the straw or reed mats are called honzu, and sometimes you'll see in the names of these tea, it'll be hon something something gyokuro. So hon means it was shaded in the traditional method of only straw or reed mats, but sometimes they use vinyl mats, these black vinyl mats called kanreisha. So, and sometimes they'll use a mix of both. But anyway, so it's shielded from the sun with these mats for at least 20 days. So each producer has their own method and they don't really reveal too much, but it's basically, around 20 days that it's shielded from the sun, and then it's picked. And this shading or shielding from the sun allows the amino acid theanine or L-theanine, which is sort of the acid that counteracts the caffeine in tea. So it allows for that gradual caffeination that tea has, where coffee is only sort of caffeine and it gives you this immediate rush. Tea produces like a gradual caffeination and it allows you to react. That's about as much of the science that I know, but so it allows for the L-theanine and the caffeine to sort of grow, and the number of caffeine particles or L-theanine particles increase, so it ultimately brings out an umami flavor and a sweet flavor at the end. So that's the reason for shading. And in the way you brew it, as we'll see today, is much different from regular sencha or something like that. The temperature of the water is extremely important, more so than in sencha. So you want to brew it at a very, very low temperature. So between 40 and 60 degrees Celsius, which comes out to be like 105 Fahrenheit, between 105 and like 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So, very, very like cold water. And that allows for all that sweetness to be brought out and none of the bitterness that comes with green tea sometimes. So we are drinking a Gyokuro from Kyoto, from Uji, and but the shop I got it from is in Sanjo, which is like a stop on the Keihan Railway in the center of Kyoto City, in the main like shopping districts. But this shop is called Kyoto Goencha, and they, it's sort of, if you go down Sanjo Dori, Sanjo Street, you cross over the wooden bridge, you pass the Starbucks, and you walk past the all the restaurants and stuff like that. So definitely recommend going down Sanjo Avenue. I think that's what it is, Sanjo Avenue. And you sort of come to a dead end. So if you go left, you go to Kawaramachi, which is a major shopping district. If you go right, you'll go up to Shijo and sort of City Hall area. But if you continue straight, if you're walking, you'll go into the Shotengai, which is like a covered market. If you keep continuing straight, you'll eventually hit a left-hand turn. That continues down to Kawaramachi. There's a bunch of like vintage stores down there too. But if you turn right a little bit further down, you'll find Kyoto Goencha. And this tea shop specializes only in Gyokuro, but the names for the tea are sort of funny, like they're gaggy tea names. So for instance, this tea is called Obachan Itsumade Itsu Obachan Itsumade mo Genki de ne cha. So rough translation, tea that will make your grandmother always stay healthy. But for another example, they have Omedeto Taiga cha. So the Hanshin Tigers, which is the local baseball team, won the Japan World Series this year. So it's like a congratulatory tea for the Hanshin Tigers. There's little pun names. So Daijobu da zo cha. So zo is elephant in Japanese. So Daijobu da zo. So it's okay. Or and then there's a couple other ones that are funny. So itsumade mo genki cha. So to always keep yourself healthy, not your grandmother. But today we're going to drink tea for our grandmother. So I just received a Christmas card from my grandmother in Ireland. So hopefully this tea will help her stay healthy. So I've been cooling down the water. So I'll just warm this tea pot up and then we'll start brewing. So I'm using a tea vessel called a hohin, and it was gifted to me by my friend Joe. Shout out Joey Tea Time if you're familiar with his Instagram. Definitely, if not, go check him out. He's one of my good friends, and we have tea all the time together. So a couple years ago for Christmas, he gifted me this hohin that's usually made to brew Gyokuro, and this is extremely hard to open for some reason. Oh, and it's a tea bag. It's not even loose leaf tea. That's disappointing. So anyway, we'll try it anyway. So we'll brew it, and for this low temperature water, you can leave it in for maybe 2 minutes or so. So we'll use that 2 minutes to talk about the other tea vessels here. So we have our yuzamashi, our water cooler. So in Japanese green tea, especially, like I said earlier, the water temperature is extremely important. So even for sencha, as you've seen in many of my videos past, you brew it not at boiling. You want to brew it maybe at 170, 175 degrees Fahrenheit in order to get the best flavor out of it, right? If you boil the water and you pour it right over the tea leaves, you're going to burn the tea leaves and it's going to be very astringent or very bitter, and you won't get any of that umami flavor or the sweetness that sometimes Japanese green tea is known for. So this is a yuzamashi. I've maybe talked about it in my earlier videos, but I forget where I got it actually. Maybe in Japan last trip, who knows? But this cup is something I picked up on my recent trip to Japan in November. It's a Asahi Yaki, so clay from Asahi, I think, which is in Kyoto, I think. But it's from this little sort of teaware or porcelain, not porcelain, I guess, teaware, Japanese cookware shop in Uji City. So in my last video, I talked about the Uji matcha. So right down the block from Tsuen tea shop, which I talked about in my last video, is this Asahi Yaki place. I got 4 years ago. I got a metal wagashi fork thing that you use to eat Japanese confectionery. And I found that place pretty cool. So I went back, and this cup was, it kind of stuck out to me. I don't know why. And it was like relatively cheap. It was probably like less than $40 or something. So it was, it was a steal almost. But so let's try this tea. And you usually use a smaller cup compared to maybe your normal Japanese green tea cup, because you're only getting a certain amount of liquid into this hohin, and you want to make sure you get the last drops of tea. They say that's where the most flavor is. So try to get as many of the last drops into the cup as possible without overflowing. But let's try it. Yes, so it's very sweet flavor, not astringent at all, not bitter at all. And that, like I said, is because of the water temperature. So wanted to share this little sort of gag Gyokuro tea set with you, and talk a little bit more about my recent trip to Japan. So hope you liked this video. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll do more videos in the new year. Take care.